But darling, oh darling, you're the best thing I've ever seen. Won't you roll me easy, so slow and easy.
Well, welcome back everybody. I seem to be developing an appetite for doing these videos of sort of notable cross countries, well, notable for me anyway, and this time I thought I'd have a go at flying what the Oxford Gliding Club cross-country flyers used to call the milk run, and that's 100k, I think it's about 107 actually, 100k flight from Weston-on-the-Green, going down to Didcot power station, which back in the early 90s when I was sort of having to get this kind of thing, still had its cooling towers, etc. there, and was a working power station and provided a very good landmark as a turning point because we had no GPS or anything to fly by then, or I didn't. And then you would fly down to Didcot, turn around, come back passing sort of probably nearer to Bicester than Weston, and go back up in a northerly direction or a slightly northeasterly direction towards Silverstone, which was also another reasonable landmark, provided the visibility was not too bad. Turn around Silverstone and come back to Weston-on-the-Green, sort of pretty much overflying Upper Hayford, which by the time I first flew cross country, I don't think it was even active anymore. I think the F-111s, the US AAF F-111s have stopped flying there. So the first time I did this flight was in a Schleicher K6cr. I can't remember whether I actually owned it at the time or whether it was still a club glider, but anyway, the club sold it and we bought it as a syndicate, and that was my first attempt at flying across country other than the 50k I had already done in a K8, in which I covered in the last video that I put on YouTube. I wasn't, again, I wasn't experienced across country. I really didn't want to be landing out. So it was all about, for me at least, getting high and staying high. And I think it was quite good to do on that day because the clouds were a little bit sort of uncertain, and I've tried to set the weather up here a bit similarly. We've got a wind speed of only about 7 knots because it was something like that on the day, and I used to choose very light wind days for flying the K6 cross country because it doesn't go very well into a wind. But it's a very nice little glider for coring thermals, has a very good min-sync rate, and very nice to handle in not very strong lift. So the wind is about 7 knots, I think, and it's slightly west of north. And on the day in question, that all happened because a weather front had gone through, cold front had gone through in the cold sector, which left the air sort of very slightly unstable, creating nice thermals, clear visibility because the fronts had moved through, so navigation was easy, and so on and so forth. The K6 is you can't carry any water ballast in a K6, so it's very limited from that point of view, and it's a very simple kind of airplane. One of the things I remember about it, if you look, the air brake lever, that lever with the blue handle, is just to the left of my left knee, and may not have bothered all pilots, but it certainly bothered me. That kind of meant that that your leg and the air brake lever between them could kind of could limit you from doing as much stick movement to the left as you did to the right. And the club had sold this glider because there'd been a couple of ground, wing down incidents. They winch launch at Weston-on-the-Green, and the grass can get quite long as well. There'd been a couple of wing going down incidents, and that could be very serious there, because if the wing catches in the grass, the thing will, well, it won't ground loop on the winch, it would do very bad stuff, probably rear up and go over on a wingtip and hit nose first and do someone some serious injury. So the solar glider, and I actually sort of found when I first sat in it, I noticed this limited stick move to the left, and I said, out of interest, I said, was it the right wing that went down on these incidents? And someone was able to remember, and they said, yes, it was. And I immediately thought, well, what's happened is, for some reason, perhaps because of a slight crosswind, or perhaps the wing walker not quite doing things quite right or whatever, the right wing started to go down, and they hadn't been able to get enough aileron authority over to the left to pick it up again. So I always tended to, I decided I would start with my stick over to the left a bit, and be ready for the left wing to go down, because that's what's likely to happen if everything else is balanced. But then I can immediately put the stick over to the right to get wings level. Whereas if the right wing started to go down and I hadn't preset the stick to the left a bit and things, I would then lose that valuable time realizing what was happening and getting the stick over to the left, and of course I wouldn't be able to get it over to the left with the same authority. So that's what I did. So that's about that, really. Oxford Airfield is 249 feet above sea level by the look of it. Now, the one thing I've got that you can't see on VR, I may even edit this bit out actually, but I've got some condensation in my VR goggles, so I have to kind of lift them off my face and waft some air into them. They'll settle down a little bit. It's only because the glass is probably a bit cold on them, so I may have to do a little bit. I'm going to do a bit before we even do anything else, so if you want to do it. This is a real-time commentary. I'm going to try and talk about this while I actually fly it. And if I don't actually complete the task, you'll probably never see this video, or you won't see most of it, because I won't bother publishing it just to do a land out. I do have some pride. Right, okay, so I think the goggles are clear for the moment. So we're all right. So let's do our check. CBSIFTBEC. So controls, all clear around the box. That's all good. CB, a long time since I did ballast. My weight is within cockpit limits, I think. Where are the weights? The weights, pilot weights. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm about 92 kg, and we're up to 100, so we're all right there. Straps are on tight. Instruments, well, we can't fiddle with those, so they are what they are, and we're obviously set at Q&H if it's showing 249 feet there. Flaps, we don't have any. Trim, full forward, full back, full forward, and set it slightly ahead of forward. CBSIFT, I haven't done this in real life for a while, so I have to remember. And then it used to be CBSIFT CB, which was then it was canopy and then brakes. Check the canopies on, and then do the brakes. It got modified to CBSIFT CBE. They added an E on the end for eventuality. Very valuable. That meant that you took a moment at the end of all this to say, okay, what will I do if this or that happens? So what will I do if the cable breaks low down? Can I land straight ahead? If it's somewhere in between, with no wind, for instance, could I consider turning around and landing back towards the winch, do a 180 or something? If it's higher, can I complete a short circuit or a circuit of some sort and land as normal? Bearing in mind, if your cable breaks on the winch, you've got to put the nose down and wait till the airspeed is showing as safe before you start to turn. It's very tempting to put the nose down to, being level on the horizon to start the turn, but the speed may be too slow. And if you turn, then you could spin with very bad consequences low down, so we don't do that. So they modified it so that it's then brakes first. So, well, we thoroughly check the brakes. I mean, we're only on a simulator, but yeah, I won't do it all. They're all working. Yeah, it's good. Okay, shut them up. The canopy. Now, the canopy on the K6 is interesting because the whole thing comes off and has to be lifted off the ground by an assistant to put on for you. And that little red T thing there is pulled back. And then when the canopy's on, you let it forward and it locks the canopy in place. And that little red T thing is how you would, eject jettison the canopy if you were to have to bail out. So that's a funny thing with this canopy. It has two locating lugs at the back and it locks down at the front. So they modified it so the canopy goes down last, because if it's a hot day and things, you don't want to be chatting about eventualities with the canopy down, so you do that last. So it's brakes and then discuss eventualities and then put the canopy down and lock it. So that's that. So with checks complete, let's get ready to go. I think the max speed on the winch shouldn't be more than about 58 knots. My goggles are steaming up again a bit, so it might be tricky. That's most important at the top of the winch launch. It probably doesn't matter quite so much in the initial stages. And the next thing I'm looking at is the sky, bearing in mind that in the end we are going to be heading back down that way somewhere. I think we're taking off. Where are we facing? We're facing to the east. Right, okay, so we're facing towards Bicester. More or less, I think. Interesting, we're taking off that way. I don't know quite where we are. Yes, there's the hangar back there. Some gliders apart. Oh, there's the hangars. Is that our hangars there? Not sure. We better get going because we might miss the old takeoff slot. Right. Okay. So off we go. Getting ready to launch. Launching in 3 seconds. Right. We're ready to go. Oops, a bit tricky because sorry, a bit distracted because of my goggles. There we go. Let's get it in the climb. Okay, not too slow. Keep it about there. Well, I'm watching the instruments too much. I should be looking at the cockpit more. That speed's a bit. I can't see the speed because of the goggles. Well, no, we're too fast on the winch. Never mind. Terrible winch launch, but we'll ignore that. Condor hasn't decided it's so bad that we have to be penalised. We're ready to release when we're at the top. Okay, that wasn't a very good winch launch. Okay, so pull the release cable twice to make sure it's gone. And I'm sorry for that winch launch. My goggles were badly steamed up and I couldn't see very much. So right, okay. So now we need to look for a thermal. Well, one of these clouds is decaying, but it still looks okayish. And K6s don't need much. So let's just go for this and see what we get. There's no retracting wheel on this glider, of course, so there's no issues with that. I'm only doing 40 knots, but that's fine in a K6cr. They can waddle along at that. In fact, they do their best glide of 29 to 1, I think it is, at about 43 knots. So there we go. The nose seems to be wandering rather up, whether I'm just not used to the glider. Or Condor thinks I'm flying it too slowly. Probably think I'm flying it too slowly. Right, let's see if we can get some lift. In. Flying's a bit ragged, but you know, let's just stick with it. I've still got the steaming up in the goggles, but it's getting better. Not centering the thermal very well, but it's very distracted by these goggles. Trying to trim the glider back a bit now, but the trimmer isn't very good on this kind of gaming joystick really. It's not like a real glider, so that's a bit of a mixed bag. I think this thermal is probably dying a bit anyway, so let's not make excuses. See if we can thermal it a circle a bit better. The thermal may be weakening, it's not just my flying. And I haven't done a flight in the K6 for a long time, so You know, I'm trying to get used to the handling of this plane compared to the others. It's not quite like the K8, and it's certainly not like the Didcot. I'm going around at 50 knots, which is faster than you should really be going around in a K6, but I think Condor might have decided that he prefers the handling. I'm not going around a bit faster, so we'll see. We've risen 800 feet anyway, so we're doing okay. We've not really started on task or anything yet. Certainly the sky is not awash with lots of great looking clouds, is it? So I think you've really got to be careful about how you make your moves. I can't remember, but I think I may have set some turbulence in thermals as well. That will add to the degree of difficulty trying to center and work thermals. But anyway, that makes the flight more interesting. No, we're just faffing around here, getting nowhere. So let's see if we can... Oh, hang on. Is the thermal cycling or something? That was a strong burst, wasn't it? Let's see whether it's just a centering thing that I can center better. Certainly some strong bursts, but it's very pulsing, isn't it? Suggesting that the lift is definitely turbulent and uneven. It's not smooth. It should get smoother with height, but less so if it's turbulent. Now, I think basically Condor's trying to tell us this one is pretty much gone. Sorry, but let the nose go up there. And yet the lift is back here again. This is very strange. I don't understand this at all, but I'm not going to bother with whether I understand it, and I'm just going to try and stick with it. I'm not thermaling well, that's for sure. I'm not maintaining my speed or my attitude well, but anyway, anything that's going up will do me. Hopefully I'll settle down as we get along with the flight a bit. Getting strong now. There's no cloud above me, so I don't know what that means. Whether it means that it's a blue thermal, I don't know. I'm way too fast. Look at this. Speed control is all over the place. Come on. I'm not really settled with the glider at all, to be honest. I'm flying it terribly badly. Can't trim it at all for love of money. No idea where it's lift here. Just one of the things I haven't really sorted out yet is how to use the canopy line as a reference on the horizon to keep the nose level, because it looks as though I've got to use sort of one of the sort of side bits of the front canopy front, if that makes any sense, because the middle bit is kind of sits naturally below the horizon, but we'll get there. Getting better at this now, and we're getting some good lift now. I've no idea why, but we're getting around at 50 knots, which is probably faster than I would really have been doing in a K6 back in the day. But hey, if it allows me to control the glider a bit better and stay in the thermal, that's fine. I'm not even going to bother looking up at what's giving us the lift at the moment, because that's just unsettled me in terms of maintaining a good attitude on the horizon. Let's just ride it. Yeah, I think one of the things perhaps that Condor didn't like as well was me trying to go around at 40 knots. Somebody didn't seem to like that. But when I was on form in a K6, I would definitely go around at 40 knots if it felt like it. There's no cloud above us, so I've no idea why we're getting lift here, but anyway, must be a blue thermal. Certainly it's not quite a blue day, but it's bluish, isn't it? I don't know what this PDA is telling me. Hoping it could tell me things like my average speed. See, as soon as I start watching that, I stop flying. So let's get back to recentering this thermal and try to. I think we've set cloud base at something like 5,000 feet today, which I think was about what it was when I flew this task. I'll look up later what date I flew this task on. I just decided at very short notice that I would jump in a K6 and try this flight, and on there, I seem to not fly it very well there either. But anyway. Where is this lift coming from? I seem to have lost it. Imagination, or there are no more clouds in the sky. Looks better now we're up here. One of the things that's new to Condor 3, and which is actually a bit unsettling in a way, is that I think what it tries to do is if one wing is in more lift than the other, it pushes that wing up. But because I'm used to Condor 2 where there wasn't any of that, I've now got to sort of incorporate that all into the sensations I have when I'm learning thermal. So I think I've mishandled the glider, but no, it's Condor actually telling me that the lift is, you know, under the upgoing wing or something like that. Anyway, we're carrying on climbing okay. And since we've not even started the task yet, hey, let's hope there's no closing window for the task or something, because that will make all this a complete waste of time. Well, if cloud base is at 5,000 feet, we've managed to get above cloud base. There's just a little tiny wisp of cloud there, isn't there, as though what we're actually involved with. Oh yes, and there's something above us here as well. Whether it's generating another thermal here, it could be, or I have no idea why the lift has been like this here. K6s do climb very well and very easily, so even moderate thermals are yeah, so there we go. So there's definitely a cloud grid. Let's come in back under this stuff and see whether the lift picks up. Oh, a little bit of a freezing up on the VR there. It's very weird. Don't understand this lift. Oh, look, and there's a cloud there. Well, look, we're at 5.5. We've got to get started the task somehow. Let's try zooming in and get ourselves over to the into the start sector. We might as well fly under this to do it, I suppose. Right, trimming forward. Should be good lift up this as we go under it, but no. Oh, I'm probably off to one side a bit. Oh yeah, there it is. Perhaps a bit, yeah. Anyway, right now, we want to get the start done. It'll be interesting to see when we actually look at this. Well, it should do, yes, because we're doing a screen capture. As long as the screen capture's worked, then the PDA should show you exactly what I'm looking at as I zoom in and zoom out and things. So let's just zoom sure we're inside that zone. And hopefully there is no kind of takeoff, you know, task start slot that's too short and I've messed up. Otherwise this whole thing's been a waste of time. But let's see, right, so we'll now head off, sort of, we might as well head off there I suppose, because it's a good looking club. We can head via here a bit. Especially with the K6, I'm inclined to sort of head under anything that looks like it could have lift in it, even if it's slightly off track. So let's see, I want to make sure this task starts okay. Start the task. So what's going on there? Oh, of course, that's have I got the wrong triangle quadrant? I'm no good. You have to excuse me, I'm not very good at this. Yes, I think I'm supposed to have gone back there. I'm heading the wrong way, aren't I? Silly me. So I'm going to lose a load of height now trying to do that. I'll tell you what confuses me is I imagine that the one that is green is the one that is waiting for you to start. Let's try that. If the thing won't start, we'll just abandon this and we'll start the whole bloody thing again and put this down to a bit of practice in a K6. We'll put the nose down a bit because there's a good cloud over in that direction. So we'll just crack on. Sorry, it's wobbling about a bit. I haven't got the hang of getting this thing just to settle down. I don't know why. It seems to be very wobbly. Settling at all. It's as though it doesn't want to trim out. Probably edit out some of this time wasting while I get all this wrong when we come to putting the final video together. Right, now let's head for this. We'll head beyond this because I want to see whether I'm not worried about my time on task. I just want to make sure that I don't waste time climbing for a task that isn't going to start, because if it won't start I don't want to fly it. Lost 1,000 feet already, a bit more, and about a bit more. So let's get over there. Dithering about taking lift out of that cloud. That over the nose I think is Kidlington. Is that Kidlington? No, that might be Upper Haven. Sorry, that's Upper Haven up there. Kidlington is probably that kind of flashing strip over there at 2 o'clock. Things are working. Hopefully this one will turn green as I go into it. Will it? Oh yes! So that is what I should have done in the first place. Silly me. So now we'll turn around and come out of that towards some suitable cloud. Excellent, which is waiting for me down there. And we'll start on task. And I know that we've started on task. Good. Right, I'm going for this one because there's nothing sort of quite there. I want this one first. So I don't think I'm going to get too involved with setting McGreedy. I can't even remember how to do it. I might have a look, but I'm not sure how all this PDA stuff works. Does it flick through screens? Oh, it's got some other screens, right? Okay. I don't know what that's all about. No. Okay, well let's get ourselves some height first, and then we can worry about anything else. So you've got two clouds here, really, haven't you, very close together. This one is bigger, but looks as though it might be a bit more decayed, but I suspect it's still got some good lift, and it's a little less far off track, so I'm inclined to take this one. there we go. Still can't stop the nose of the K6 from wobbling about a fair bit, and hey-oh. And of course, really, you know, moving across the sky in a K6, I think for best glide, you probably, well, it says 43, doesn't it? But it would go as slow as that. But obviously, if you start going too fast in the K6, you really are starting to lose glide efficiency. Okay, let's go on a ride. Start our search. I think I probably should have turned the other way, but never mind. Yeah, it doesn't really like me flying it around at 40 knots very much. Gonna have to get over that. Come on, where's the lift? Where is the lift? Oh dear. Well, I don't think we're going to do very well under this cloud, to be honest. So I think we may have to go for, if we can't get anything soon, to go for something else, I think. No, how strange. Very difficult to catch. Not much, is it really? No, I don't like this. We're wasting our time here, I think. No, it's playing blobs with us, I think, isn't it? We're going to go to hell and get burned. Let's try this and see. If this one doesn't work, I don't know where to go next. Flying around at 40 knots. Very annoying, because that's really what I'd like to be doing. If you're wondering why I'm thermaling so badly, it's because I'm trying to see where Weston-on-the-Green is. I've lost it. I'm ashamed to say it. It's been so long since I've flown there. And I have lost the airfield, which is a bad thing to do when you're not doing very well, but you would still be in gliding range of the airfield. Perhaps the point is I shouldn't worry about that and just get on and fly the bloody thermal. Because if I fly it well enough, I won't have to worry about the airfield. You may never get to see this video if I don't sort things out, because I'm really making a lot of bad decisions here at the moment. Quite interesting. I don't normally do commentary in real time, and when you do commentary in real time, you get to see everything, warts and all. And I've completely messed this up because it was a good, possibly good climb, but I've done such a bad job of it. I am struggling. Right, I've made my decision. I'm going to concentrate on climbing. I will land in a field if I can't. So it's like they say, fly the aeroplane. Worry about the other stuff later. Right now I should be flying the aeroplane. Don't know why the lift is so difficult though, it's very difficult. Of course the thermals are just set to moderate today, so they're not going to be as good as the strong ones I usually set just for peace of mind. I've deliberately made it a bit harder. And even though the K6 is a good climbing glider, it can only do so much. It's up to me to actually fly the thing well enough and get the hang of the sky. And it is quite difficult because the lift is very unreliable. I'm not settled with the plane. I mean, look at our average. I mean, it's just rubbish, but I've got to hang on because I don't know what else to do. I'm not persuaded anyone else is going to be particularly better at the moment, even though this thermal is probably time by now. That cloud over there is good. I might have to transfer to that and have done with it. These lovely ideas about staying high. This thermal's gone, isn't it, really? I'm in a right old mess here. I'm in a right old mess. I'm going to have to go for this even though it's further off track. I don't like it. It's totally in the wrong direction, really, isn't it? But there you go, what do you do? I've got to find a good climb. Whatever it takes. Northeast here. All these clouds look a bit kind of like not that good. Anyway, let's see what we get. I've spotted Weston anyway, that's something. Didn't look out into the turn before I started my thermal there, never mind. Only BR. Oh, at last, I think some decent left. Difficult thermals these, I can tell you, they're not, well, obviously there are weaker ones, but they're not as good as I've been spoiling myself with. Testing my flying a bit more, and I'm on a strange type. I've not flown for 30 years or something. very difficult in Condor when you set the thermals to turbulent, because what it does is you've got to try and work out where the center of the thermal might be, even though you know, the lift is coming and going like mad. It just makes it that much tougher to do it. Is that it? Isn't it? I don't know. Very broken up, the lift. Ah, yeah, that cloud is breaking up, you see. It's as though the clouds aren't lasting very long. But let's stay with it. And let's try and go around a bit faster as well, because I think Condor doesn't like it when I fly the K6 too slowly. The other thing I'm finding with this K6 compared to the real one is it's slow in roll. The K6 is a lot more lively in roll in real life, I think, than this one is being at the moment. Very poor averages in the climbs, aren't they? Terrible, 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 terrible. Just when I think I'll give this up and set off. What's this? Let's take a gamble. This is a new cloud and not a fading one. Sorry, I'm on the wrong button. Sorry, excuse me, chaps. I'm just forgetting all my controls here. So, right, I've got to go over that way, have I? And that's breaking up anyway, so bugger. These clouds are tricky. I'm not really as high as I want to be, but... So, which is the... I just don't know what the PDA is telling me data-wise, you know, which way to go and things. So, I'm just going to go for this cloud, because it's roughly in the right direction. Hopefully it'll give me some lift. This is Oxford over the nose, I think. Yeah. None of these clouds seem to stay looking good for very long. In some respects, it is a little bit like the day I actually did this, though, because the clouds weren't that great. I mean, I remember it being a little bit probably to hang on to a cloud and then hoping another one would pop up. Yeah, this cloud's already kind of weakening, isn't it? It's just, you know, dispersing. Still, we'll take what we can get. Surely that's not it that I've done. That's better. getting occasional glitches on the VR as well, which is a bit distracting, but hopefully that won't look too bad when we actually look at the screen capture. Come on. The climbs are a struggle today, there's no doubt about it. Let's see what's has to offer up ahead. What a meandering journey this is. Awful thermals or awful thermaling, whichever one or the other, but no fun at all thermaling. I've yet to find anything that I can sort of really settle down in. We're very slowly making our way skywards. If it would just stay like this, I'd be very happy, but will it stay like this? No idea why suddenly this climb should be so much better. Whether it'll stay better or not, I don't know, but at the moment it's given us a good burst and our best average, I think, probably. Almost making 4 knots on the averager, aren't we? Four knots on the averager. Whoa-hey. Oh, this is more like it. Can we make every climb like this, please, and on track? I shall take this as high as I can. A first decent climb. Boy, I've had to work for that one. And the plane is handling much better, even down at sort of like, 45 knots or something, more like I'd expected a K6. Our base has risen. I'm not bothered about going in a cloud a bit of an E2. If that's what it takes to give me some height, I'll do it, but of course I've got no artificial rise in this, so it's all I think I'll just come round back onto the heading and then call it a day with this one. So we'll straighten out somewhere sort of around there-ish. Excellent, that's much better. We'll waffle through the lift as best we can. Okay, excellent, nearly 5.5. I feel a lot better about life now. Got that bit away a bit, haven't we? Trouble is now, of course, there's nothing on track. We've got to hope something pops up, haven't we? So I think we need to fly fairly conservatively. There is something up ahead, but even the way the sky's been this time, that'll probably have gone by the time I get there, especially in a K6. But we'll head that way, and we've got to do some kind of cross-country speed, so let's try and go to 60, I think. I wish this thing would give me a proper kind of I can't work out how this thing works. I'm just going to use it as a kind of a I'm sorry, I'm not paying enough attention here. Can't even work out any of this information. What's it actually saying? 8 nautical miles, right. So of course, once we get down to Didcot, we've only done about a quarter of the task. Oh well. I mean, I'll get this task finished, to be honest, in the time and energy I've got today. I'm really not in the mood for it. Let's go around to the left a bit. I think we've got to head for this cloud though, really, haven't we? It's be hard work, this task, I think. I really needed to not be doing it at the end of the day like this. Hey ho. One realistic thing though is with that PDA not being much more use than a map, I'm at least having to fly a bit like the old days when all you had was a map. So that's something. See, I think I've got to head for this cloud. I'm still hanging on to old habits of a higher performance glider where I might have been heading something more distant. But in a K6, I think I've got to head for these clouds and sort it out from there, or I'll end up in big trouble. And even with that, I've still got to get to them and hope they work okay. Ooh, never a dull moment. So what are we looking at here? Coming up ahead this town. Can we tell from the map? Will it tell us anything? Abingdon, probably Abingdon, yeah. So on that day, when I was doing my 100k in the Astir, doing my 100k Diploma flight, visibility was a lot poorer than this, and I found myself kind of quite near Abingdon, so I think I was more or less here, and that's probably Abingdon at 1 o'clock down there. And I suspect I must have been a bit more off track and closer to it as well, because I don't recall it being quite as much to the side, and with visibility so poor, I might not have seen it that far to the side. Anyway, it's a long, long time ago. But again, you know, in those days I was just flying with a map and had very poor visibility, so you know, I wouldn't necessarily have been completely correct for track. But I had to be more or less correct, or I wouldn't have even have managed to see the turning point of the thingy. So perhaps I was more or less here. Well, at the moment this cloud is holding up okay, so fingers crossed. Give us a climb, and of course going back we'll have the wind against us. It's not much of a wind, but it'll still be against us, whereas at the moment it's kind of a bit more behind us. Sorry about the wobbling. Yeah, it looks a decent massive cloud. Let's hope it's working. Because again, you know, with a K6, I mean, you know, if the cloud you're going for isn't working, I mean, look what you've got to do. Bad over there, a long way to get to the next one. That one's way off track. You're just kind of hoping that it'll work out okay. This one's not too bad for track, really. So So when the lift is set to turbulent in Condor, again, knowing when to start turning is a little bit harder because our the lift is so uneven anyway. And the VR keeps freezing on me momentarily, which is a bit spooky, but there we go, we'll live with it. Is it going to look around before we have to turn? Now it's telling me that the right wing's being lifted, so that should mean I turn into the right. But we shall see. I'm not going to be too over energetic trying to center the lift. You know, I think this is one of the things that actually I forget about real life, and that is that when it is turbulent, one can tend to sort of chase the lift too hard, and it's better sometimes just to settle down a bit and spend more time watching how it comes and goes, and not be turning too violently, because that tends to upset the instruments and everything. So let's just take it gently. You see, there it goes stronger, doesn't it? So straighten up a touch, then go in and see whether we start to get better stuff. But don't do too much of it. Now let it settle a bit. See, it's a bit better, but not a lot. But we're doing okay-ish on the average, so let's not be too greedy. I should be climbing better than this really, but I'm so frightened of losing it if I get too cocky. Bit of recentering, see what that does. Bit of turning tight because might be tight cores. That seems to be rewarding us a bit, doesn't it? I think Condor, just like real life, likes you to maintain a steady rate of turn, and again that's something that's a bit harder with a joystick like this, because it doesn't, you know, a gaming joystick, it just doesn't have the same kind of feel or precision or anything, or sense of realness that a real joystick would have. So you are having to factor that in as well. So there we go, I've cocked that up there, I've done something wrong and I've kind of lost it a bit. So let's see if we can find it again. No, if you turn too tight it seems to lose it. Sometimes it wants me to be turning nice and tightly, other times it doesn't. Well, you can see that the real cloud looks over here more, doesn't it? So I think I shall head over this way and see whether it gets better. I'm going to deliberately head over here a bit and see what happens. I'm curious. Will it be better over this way? Or will it not? No, not so far. No, it's not at the moment, is it? What a bugger. What a bugger. Time we're wasting with all this is phenomenal. So I think we're just going to head off, take our chances. Unless we bump into something good and just want to circle some more, I'm going to head off. Let's throw in a turn, see whether it's worth it. Not really. Lift, is it? But of course we do want the height, even if it's rather inefficiently gained. There's not much wind, so it's not as though we're being blown back on task or anything, but I think we'll just come round on this and we'll carry on, because we'll be here all bloody day otherwise. Just take our chances. Now Didcot shouldn't be far off, should it really? One of the things about Didcot is that there's probably no cooling towers there now in this map, So it's no good me looking out for features like cooling towers because they ain't there no more. It's the town of Didcot, which I think is ahead over the nose, which will be our turning point. And probably very slightly to the right of the nose, that kind of whitish patch of ground is probably, that's probably where the power station was. And conveniently, there seem to be clouds. It might be better, given the nature of this game, to go onto those clouds on the way there as well, because they might not be there when you get back. So if there is good lift here, I'll take it. I mean, in some ways, this is quite reminiscent of the flight that I actually did on that day, although I don't think the climbing was as difficult as it is today. You know, that and or my ability to fly this thing and to fly generally now is somewhat diminished what it was then. So let's see what we get here. Check out the end of the turn. Getting a decent average on this, aren't we? Although it's very turbulent and uneven. Oh, there's the cooling towers. Well, they'd be long gone. So we come round, I'll try and show you again. Looks like the 3 cooling towers of Didcot Power Station that are still on the map, even though they're long gone in real life. Where are they? They're down there somewhere. There they are. And this is another one that looks like they are. They're all there, all the cooling towers of Didcot. That's Didcot. Good lord, they must have kept it alive on the on this map. Thank you, map authors. Lovely trip down memory lane. Well, by the standards of today, this is not too bad a climb. I'm sure it could be better if I worked it better, but I'm busy chatting and waffling. And we are going up, that's all I care about. I'm not trying to set records. See, again, this looks a darker bit of the cloud. This should be the better bit of the cloud. Funny, because I would have thought we were past the turn point by now, but obviously not quite. the better bit of the cloud here, doesn't it? Yep. Okay, so how do we zoom in? Just go around, take ourselves through the turn point. Come on, thank you. Oop. Right, so now we've got to go right back the other way. It's nice, we can go back under this cloud. Have a little top up if it's offering one. And then see where on earth we're going to go to next. See, I thought this cloud was starting to disintegrate, but it looks thicker again now. It's strange, all this. Let's take a turn or two, shall we? You see the cloud seems to have... Can't work it out. Is it better over here? Maybe a bit. Very strange thermals. Right, I think we'll just waffle off on track here. So the question is, in a K6, where do you head next? I mean, you know, I get very nervous and sort of want to head for that, but it's I think a long way away, that one, isn't it? But I think we've got to try it. Because really, we're virtually at cloud basis, it gets a bit silly. Maybe one will come along while we're actually doing that. We also need to make sure we are heading the right way. So maybe... back towards Oxford, is it? Or Abingdon, yeah, back towards Abingdon, sorry, yeah. And hope we can find something before we get too low. There, isn't it? And they're pretty much on track. Let's sort of head towards that lock. Oh, interesting. They hadn't paid much attention, but the speed to fly diamonds are there. you want it in the middle with just one diamond. If you're doing that, you're going a bit too cautiously. If you're doing that, you're going a bit too fast with the red diamond showing. So let's try and hold it in the middle here. So it seems to sort of think 50 knots-ish is the kind of thing to go for, isn't it? Oh, and while I was doing that, I completely wandered, not paid attention to my heading. Sorry about that. I don't know why I find this glider much harder as well to not pay attention to. This is like a duodiscus that will just fly in a groove and get in stably. It trims out, it's stable, it'll allow you time to wander around. But this thing wants to waffle around if you don't watch it all the time. And of course, we're steadily losing height here. We've still got to get to those clouds, which seem a long way off. There's nothing else much to rescue us, is there? I mean, even a detour to the left or right is not, you know, right there. So, nothing seems to be popping up to help us before there. So let's just hope we get connected okay with something when we get there. Plenty of fields to land in there, that's something. So if the worst comes to the worst and we land out, it's not the end of the world. Should fly a little bit slower, really. Get lucky and a cloud would develop on track for us, but it doesn't seem going to happen. We're not even really on track, to be honest. We're a bit off, but we should be heading more sort of there-ish. What's this? So what's this lift here? Well, I'm going to try turning it. I don't know what it is, but a thermal's just getting going. It's worth a quick turn as long as we're not losing height. No, I don't think that's going to be doing anything much at the moment, so let's get ourselves back on track. No. Of course, what you have to watch is while you've done that, the cloud you're heading towards might have weakened. That's what we're heading for now. We're going to head for this cloud. It's our only half decent looking option. You know, we're about to be at 3,500 over a major town. We can't let that situation get too far out of hand, or we have to head away from the town and land. So let's hope this cloud gives us something half decent. It may not be that great, but we may have to just take whatever we can get. We may have to take a bit and then it's disintegrating as I speak, isn't it? And it's over the town. I don't like this. There's one beyond that's a bit better, but there are ones over there that are better, and I think they're a bit further, but I think I'm going to have to go for them because I don't like the way that's disintegrating much. We're so near to it though. Can we risk it? No, I'm going to go for this, and if I get burned, I get burned. This one keeps me clear of the town as well, so I'm a bit happier about that. I'm not going to muck around with any more things that might be a bit of lift unless they're really, really positive. Don't don't know what that last one was. It could have been a thermal that was going to get going, but I couldn't really hang around any longer to find out. So there's so much upping and downing on the area. I have no idea what that's all about. But I'm going to have to ignore it. No, nothing developing above me that I can see. I'm definitely having, I've got to throw a turn in here. I'm definitely having that wing lifted. There's a classic case of you've no idea why the lift is here, but you've got to give it a go. And if it does get strong enough like this, we'll definitely hang on in here. This will do me. And we may see a cloud develop above us in a minute. We'll have to see. I've got to make sure I can hang on to it. Sign of a cloud above me yet. It's not a great average, but it's getting me out of trouble, that's the thing. And I don't know quite how Condor operates, but of course, if it's set turbulent in the thermals, then your airspeed will move around a bit as well, so you can end up chasing the airspeed indicator a bit too much when you shouldn't. Which looks like poor speed control, but it's actually a combination of turbulence in the thermal and you over controlling as you try and settle it down. Sometimes best just not to look at the ASI and just go by the sound in your ears from the vario, and a occasional look at the average to see how it's doing, and just fly. And as I always say, that position on the nose on the horizon, but still quite difficult to hold a steady turn with the gaming joystick. Well, my one anyway. Still can't see a cloud above us. So I guess this must be a day where there are thermals in the blue as well as ones under clouds. Perhaps that's the point. I don't know. Not a great average, but we're slowly getting up to a decent height. And all the time we can be looking around to see what next cloud is developing on track. Yeah, there's a few up the way, isn't there? Whether they'll still be there in a while, I don't know, but they're there for now. no sign of a cloud. Right, I think we better just get ourselves on our way. We'll go via this one. And if the climb is good, I will take a top up here, definitely. I'm going to waste him in the K6. Ooh. Condor didn't like that. That was a bit too close to stalling out. Had a wide though, because it was 40 knots, so it should have been alright. Perhaps it thought the bank was too tight. Right, so I think that'll probably pretty much do us. We'll take what's on offer while we're here. Okay, let's do a turn, shall we? Just for the fun of it. What was that strong bit? I just loved mucking around in the lift. Nice. Right. Now head for this fella. This will be the slowest cross country ever done, I think, but never mind, if we can get through it, great. But we're settling a bit. Anything could go wrong at any time, but I mean, we seem to be settling a little bit into doing some better climbs, don't we? This cloud is there waiting for us when we get there. Controls and feel for the keyboard, see if I can set McCready, but no, I've got to, is it that one? No, I'm going to muck around with it. My flying will just turn to worms when I try. I'm curious though, let's just try again, see if we can set it to 2 knots, just for the sake of those diamonds we're looking at there. That will change what it thinks is the speed you can go at. So if I want to actually feel bold and sort of say, yeah, and I'm going to get 2 knot climbs, then I can go a bit faster. And I can see even at that really it doesn't want me going across the sky much more than 55 knots. So yeah, to get used to that. God, this thing's a bugger to trim out though, it really is. It just, I don't know why I bother with the trimmer on it, because it just, when I've been thermaling, I've not been trimming back for the thermals. It's just easier to brace my hand against the joystick and just hold it back, because the trimmer sort of unloads it a bit, but it doesn't really sort of help you in quite the same way a good trimmer would in a full-size glider. Real world glider rather. So this cloud is sort of decaying a bit as we get there, isn't it? But it's the best we've got for the moment. I think everything else is a bit too far away. I was feeling bolder. I suppose I could go towards the things at 1 o'clock because they're a bit more on track. But they'll probably end up like this one by the time I get there. That's the thing. Very difficult. It's not like flying these high performance planes where you can it's breaking up, isn't it? It's just breaking up. What have we got? 4-4. Let's go for these because there's more than one there as well, and it's more on track. So let's go for these. It's just disintegrated before my eyes as I got to it. You know, damn nuisance. It's quite difficult choosing your clouds in this particular, you know, how I've set it up. But at least with this, there's this cloud, then one beyond it, one beyond that. There's a lot of clouds over in this direction, so you have more options really. The one beyond, because this one's starting to look a bit like it's breaking up, but the one beyond it looks quite strong, doesn't it? Like it might not break up too quickly. And this one, you know, if it offers me a reasonable climb, I'll take it. I'm not trying to, you know, be top man here. And I'm trying to stay high because I do worry about getting down low. Once you get lower, you know, it's just that more difficult to center thermals to stay in them. So it can take you a lot longer to climb up to height. And, you know, if your nerves start to fray, like mine can, you might lose it altogether. So I would rather take something with more height and work it than be getting into too desperate a situation. Just for Well, there's two of them coming at me, and you know, which one do you go for? But this is the one that's more in front of me, obviously, so I think we'll go for that. Hope we can get something out of it. But neither of them are very big clouds. And the one further on is away further on, so they're breaking up as they get to them, aren't they? But let's hope they'll offer us something. Now the left wing was kind of lifted there a bit, so that's why I've gone left, but whether I'm right to do that or not, I don't know. So it's good to practice circling in another direction. In the real K6, as I said at the beginning of this flight, you tended to want to circle right because you had more kind of control authority to the right. Although I could do things like put my toe on the rudder pedal, and that would lift my knee up enough for the stick to just about pass underneath it. But this is not very good, is it? Come on. So I can get better than this, we need to do. I just need to stop chatting and fly, to be honest, I think. Doesn't help. No, it's not much of a climb rate, is it really? Nah. Let's try this fella over here. See if he's any better. If not, we're going to have to try and carry on track and hope. I'm going round to the right this time, I think. You're not properly. Try and get centered. Not really centering it properly, am I? Finding it very difficult to fly well today, for whatever excuse, whatever reason. Awful, just awful, bloody awful. Meanwhile, whatever it was you might have hoped to go to has probably got older and tireder. I think I'm going to have to go for it because this just isn't good enough to hang around in. No, you're not fooling me anymore. I'm going for this fella here. So what's that looked about? this is a nice big juicy cloud. God, I'd hope there's something good under this. The next thing is, you know, not turning too soon, isn't it? Oh, well, that was a case of the left wing being pushed up. So let's go left and see what happens, but I don't think it necessarily follows it was the right way to go. Maybe good practice to turn either way. Trim the back up, it's not easy. Don't believe for 1 minute I'm circling under the best bit of the cloud, but see, in real life, I don't think you should be having to turn this tight at this altitude to actually sort of stay in the best lift. You should be able to be flying a lot more smoothly, you know, like a rate 2 turn or something, rather than this constant in and out stuff. Trying to recenter, but anyway, it is what it is, and I'll take what I can get. And we're averaging nearly 4 knots, which is towards the better end of what we've been doing today. If I was in better form, I'd be doing this rather better. I'm not flying at my best, I can tell. But hey ho. Survival's the name of the game. And I'm distracted by trying to do a commentary and knowing that my every move is going to end up on a YouTube video and be seen. Well, I got in a way though, because you know, it's quite good to see what really happens when someone's trying to fly a flight, warts and all. In the old days, when there was nothing like this, of course, the story the pilot told you back in the bar, I'm sure, was, you know, painted them in a great light and everything they did was brilliant and intentional, blah, blah, blah. And if they weren't quicker, there were very good reasons. The sky got weak here and, you know, it wasn't my fault, blah, blah, blah. But here, you can see me making up lame excuses while looking at it and saying, no, go this way, turn now, straighten up now, do all this, whatever, you know, blur, blur, blur. But this has given me quite a good average, so I'd like to take it as far as I can, really. I don't actually want to get too involved with cloud, because I wouldn't do that in a real K6. But I might go to cloud base on a day like this when I'm so desperate to get height. Obviously, you've got to be careful going to cloud base like this because you can't see across the sky and people can't see you there. So if somebody else has got the same idea and they're going straight, which they shouldn't be actually. I mean, nobody should be flying in a straight line at cloud base when they can't see ahead. You should have clear viz. So I should be relatively okay doing this, but it's still not a good. It's not a good plan really. Not a very good plan. Right. So let's straighten up here, shall we? I think because we're involved enough with cloud as it is. We've only got a turn and slip, and I don't want to do too much of that. Can take some lift as we come out of it. So let's come out of this and see where our next victim is. Right. Now we've got some good enough stuff on track here now. So we'll go for this fella, shall we? And we'll go for him with some reasonable speed on, I think. I mean, I'm probably flying this whole thing a bit too slowly in a way. I might have served myself better if I got to clouds quicker, but they've been so kind of iffy when I've got to them. I'm not very confident about what I'll find when I get there, so I'm reluctant to start getting silly with the cross-country speed. And again, because, you know, if I'm recording this and I'd like to be able to finish the task, commentary and all, and be able to put it on YouTube as a task that didn't fail, then I'm incentivized to want to stay up rather than try and go quickly and risk landing out, which would make all this commentary a complete waste. But we'll try and press on a bit. It has been a slow flight. And I don't know whether you're seeing it on the actual screen, but in the VR headset, the VR is definitely having a certain amount of freezing today. I don't know why. Probably my computer is not on its best mood. So hopefully we can pull up under this and do a few turns just to top up. I like to stay high. It allows me to actually leave with confidence and speed and go for the next one rather than getting into this nervous mode. Do us. Right, okay, that's good. So let's fly with some confidence towards the next one. And although it's not much of a wind we're heading into, it's still a 7-knot wind that where is it? It's probably about there-ish, isn't it? About our 11 o'clock. So, you know, we're substantially going into wind, so we don't want to be too pussyfooting about. We'll just get blown back more. Is that Oxford? It must be Oxford there, mustn't it? Yeah. Bicester still not too far up ahead. I mean, we're probably in gliding range of Weston now anyway, so you know, that is one of the options on this milk run task. If for some reason you're just not at all happy, or it's not going well, it's quite easy just to cut your losses and land back at Oxford halfway around the task. You're really giving away high a bit too quickly. Perhaps let's just come back a bit on the speed. Certainly seems a long way to get to those clouds, doesn't it? But hey ho, got to keep moving because there ain't nowhere else to go, and it is on track. Sorry, a bit closer to Weston than I realised. That's Weston. The funny thing is, if that's Weston, is Oxford so close? Something feels a bit odd there, but yeah, it is Weston. Like it's just because we're high, and well, not that high actually either. A bit strange, and no, it doesn't stack up. This can't be Weston, surely. And yet, those two green triangles tell me that it pretty much is. There's the. Oh no, it's Bicester. Sorry, it's Bicester. Yeah, of course. I think it is. Yeah, that was Bicester. Sorry, we passed Weston. So God knows what the Vario's doing here. So we could land at Bicester anyway, if we couldn't make it back to Oxford, although I think we probably could make it back to Oxford somewhere there. Yeah, I think we can just about see Oxford. God, it's taking forever to get to this cloud though. We're down to 3-2. The cloud is deteriorating a bit, so this could be a bit tedious. Deteriorating. It's going to be very tedious. And we'll reach it at 3,000. Oh boy. This is a slow task. If we get it completed. Like the lad at Silverstone. The lift shouldn't be here just yet, really. Should be. Trying to sucker me into turning, but I'm not sure I want to turn yet. The real lift should be coming up now, I think, because it should be slightly on the upwind side, shouldn't it? Bit of sink. This is madness. Why is the lift here? I was going for that cloud, but there you go, if there's lift here, I better turn it and see how good it is. Crazy, my speed control is absolute crap, and yet I'm just bizarre. Can't work out why the lift is here. It's just all kinds of places that it shouldn't be, but I have to go with it though. Such a weird sky. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand what's going on with this thermaling here. Bloody great cloud there that I'm not under. I'm not under anything here. Lift here. I want to just transfer to that cloud and I've done with it, but the lift is sort of okay-ish here, and I'm going to transfer to it. This is just crazy. Makes no sense at all. I mean, I've got to explore what Condor does and see what it does. This is completely off track as well, but never mind. I am curious. I mean, I do a lot of this just to have fun exploring Condor and see what it's doing. I bet you I'll just regret this. It'll be no use at all, but job. It's crazy, I don't understand this. sometimes wonder whether the weather modelling has got worse in Condor 3 than in Condor 2. I'm not sure. Sometimes it just seems a bit weird. Given there's not particularly good looking cloud nearby up on track, I suppose I better faff around with all this stuff here, whatever it is, and try and get something good out of it. Oh, I don't know. No, I can't work it out. I can't work it out at all. Let's crack on, shall we? This is ridiculous. I can't make hide nor hair of this weather, and I'll be up here forever if I hang around. So I'm going to risk it. Just go for it's a long way to go though. Didn't go for max height here, and really I should have done, but there we go. I'm doing it now. If we land out, we land out. I just don't understand it. I think that kind of just ahead of the nose, more or less where the string is, I think that sort of grey area is probably Silverstone up there. Not sure what this airfield is. It's like a disused one, isn't it? Is Weston somewhere up this way or something? I can't remember. On the map to tell us. Well, this looks like a good cloud mass. Let's hope we can get some decent lift under this. We could use it. Come on, turn, you bugger. Dearie me. This thing is a bit weird. It just wouldn't turn when I wanted it to. And I know I was flying quite slow, but even so, a real K6 wouldn't have any problem with that at all. Right, let's concentrate. Yeah, Condor is telling me it wants me to fly faster, isn't it? I've got to try and hang on to this lift. Not a great climb rate, but I've got to stick with it because I need some height. Come on. The cloud seems to disintegrate again, doesn't it? Terrible climb rate. Terrible climb rate. Gonna have to give it up. It's a worry this though, because we've not got a lot of height to go looking for anything else, so I really had hoped to get some more than this out of this cloud, but it's just disintegrated above me, isn't it? Look, it's all gone. It's all gone. All gone. Has anything developed in the meantime? Better head for these guys and just hope that one of these is developing. Whew, it's hard work. The area is all over the place, isn't it, today as well? Crazy. Look, everything turning to worms as we head towards it. What's that about? see, but it's, I really wanted that one. No, I think I want your mate further upwind. Oh well. If you'll give me that, I'll take it. See, this is weird because I would have gone through this to the next bit of cloud that looked better, but suddenly this gives me really good lift. And if I hadn't just sort of said, well, I'm going to go for this because it's here, then I don't know where I'd be, because this is really a very nice climb, but from a cloud that looked like it was breaking up. So I can't make this guy out. I do recall a flight actually in the K6 where I did do 100k, but I was originally going to go from Edge Hill to the Cotswolds, but the sky looked so unpromising in that direction. And every cloud I went to, every good looking cloud I went to, wasn't working. It was as though the clouds were marking things, events that were kind of over. And I would find lift sort of like, yeah, in blue bits, not in the clouds. And after a while I got used to this and just accepted it. And then I did set off in a completely different direction. I went over towards Olney, that sort of way, Northampton, Olney, and then back via Gaydon or something. And I did a sort of a rambling 100k, but the sky started to sort of spread out and grey over on the second half of the task. And I remember seeing an Astir who looked like he was definitely going into a ploughed field, but the K6 managed to find something rather weak and gentle, and I hung on to it, and I got back on final glide. I say final glide, I had no real means of doing anything other than eyeballing final glide, but I got onto a glide that I could get home. But I'm not sure the Astir did, because it was the kind of weak lift that a K6 could use much better than an Astir. I've not been paying attention now, and I've probably rather lost my climb, but never mind, let's stop chatting and get back into it. I had imagined I'd be able to chat more than I am on this flight, because I'd breeze along, have no problem doing the task and be able to chat. But actually I've had to pay quite a lot of attention to things here, and when I haven't paid attention, I've started to pay the price. That just coming over the nose, I think, is Silverstone. Don't know why I'm doing okay here. I think in a moment we'll move on towards Silverstone because there's a good looking bit of cloud to us. Mind you, we won't climb a lot better than this, I don't think, but let's move on towards Silverstone and see whether that bit of cloud just there is any better. We're still going up quite nicely, so I'll let the plane fly very slowly and soak it up. Yeah, because Silverstone itself has not got any clouds around it, has it? So watch out for that one. Let's give us a bit of lift. Not really. Not really. Not enough to be worth turning in a moment, I don't think. Let's try and get Silverstone done and hope we can turn around it and without being too much of a mess. What I might do, I think, is just head to the side of Silverstone a bit, where there's a reasonable collection of clouds. So yeah, when I did this task for my 100k diploma in the Astir, as I mentioned when we were doing the K8 flight that I posted on YouTube a little while ago, the visibility was very poor. But otherwise, the sort of the wind direction and speed were probably quite similar, I should think. But you know, and the thermals were better and stronger. And the Astir is a different plane. I mean, it can get across the sky like an arrow, rather better than this. And well, especially, you know, because I'm the person flying this is not a particularly good pilot. And I really, you know, I couldn't see Silverstone from here at all. I mean, I really had to be virtually on top of it before I looked down and thought, wow, that must be Silverstone. And as I said in that video, I was, you know, getting quite, what's the word, overloaded with it all. And first of all, I just thought I was looking at a car crash on a road until I realised that it was more likely to be a racetrack, and then that racetrack might be Silverstone. So what are we going for here? What's this one over the nose now? Can we risk going for that? Is it developing? Is it dying? God, what's the Vario doing? What is it doing? Sinky bits, lifty bits, the plane won't trim properly. Let's go for this one and see. It seems to be developing, doesn't it? As long as it hasn't died by the time I get there. Quite funny really, because I mean the K6 is a nicer handling plane than the K8 really, and yet the K8, when I was flying it the other day, seemed to be more rock steady as you flew it across the sky than this K6. And I seem to be more nervous about flying this K6 as fast. But of course, on that day as well, the thermals were strong and very reliable. So you really were just kind of, you know, it was a turkey shoot, a thermal turkey shoot. Whereas this is a lot more risk of it going wrong. So I've got to connect with this lot okay when I get there and climb. And then I'll worry about the turning point. We'll be slightly under 3,000 feet by the time we get to this one. So we really do want it to work. We'll be landing on the grass in the middle of the racetrack at Silverstone otherwise, and I'll be somebody having a serious chat with me if that happens. But hey, it's not a race day. Where are you? We've got to start turning and hoping. To stick with it, I'm afraid, even if it isn't very good, and hope it builds. Suddenly turns into sharp and losing, and it's terrible. Just when I think I've got ready to recenter, it all goes pear-shaped again. So try and turn in gently, not too tight. It's a bit better. Very uneven thermals. Just cannot seem to get this centered properly. awful. This is just awful. We're going to have to try and do something about this. Don't know what we do though. Don't know where to go to. That's the way we want to go back. Nothing much there. Going up in 1 knot. It's terrible. No, there's nothing there. Let's head over this way and let's get the turning point done. At least we'll have turned it before we land out. We'll have to head to one of these afterwards, I suppose. Oh God, this flight is hard work. Drifting off, for God's sake. Right, so we've turned Silverstone, and I think we have got to head of these. Let's try this one, shall we? Then we can try that one. Don't have any choice because there was nothing back there, I don't think. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And I've got no PDA that I understand for telling me my final glide or anything, you know, not that we're going to suddenly go into fun. Just won't turn when I want it to either. Made 5 knots on the averager. God, it's the best of the flight. Let's have more of that, please. My nerves are just frayed, I tell you. Where's the lift gone? Where's it gone? All these juicy clouds just when I don't particularly want them. Nothing very promising back on track for the moment. And this is still giving some quite good stuff, so I think we just got to keep riding it up for the moment and watching the sky. Be better if I could centre the lift better, but when the thermals are set to turbulent like this on Condor and the lift is decaying, it's really quite difficult to spot the point at which the lift is actually decaying rather than your flying is just not good enough. But I think probably it's trying to tell me that the lift overall is decaying here, which would make sense because the cloud is virtually gone, isn't it? But then again, you see, if I recenter a bit, I can pick up bits, but it keeps suckering you in. So let's give this up. That cloud has got a bit bigger since I last looked at it. It's more or less in the right direction, so let's head there and make our way home and hope we can just pick our way along. Let's see what this one does. And to some extent now the wind is behind us. It's sort of, yeah, it's sort of half behind us really. Somewhere over there. So let's see what this has to offer. And if not, we'll just move on. Stopping out, but we might. Let's throw in a turn just to see what it has to say. Very difficult to gauge these clouds. Right, let's proceed on our way, I think. zoom further out. Better. What's that alarm we wanted there? This fella here. See what he's got to offer. Every time you turn, you're not in it. Nope, you think that would have recentered us, but no. No way. So I don't know if that's worth hanging around in much, to be honest. We'll just complete this turn and get on our way. Short of some huge surprise. Right, okay, so we'll go for this fella. Fly with some positivity now, eh? I hope we don't get burned. That's the wrong one, really. We don't hang off a bit too much. I think we can go for one of these fellas, don't you? Oh no, hang on, we're going the wrong way. No, we've got to go for one of these fellas. Check my real world clock. 7:30 in the real world. So we're 9.5 miles to go. Destination height 1,200 feet, it reckons. Can that be right? Well, I'm going to take a climb out of this because I'm not going to actually start taking risks with this task. I haven't got this far. I just want to finish it. Don't need to be hitting a marginal final glide. That could go wrong. This looks a juicy cloud, doesn't it? You'd hope to find something under this. VR keeps freezing. Don't know why it's having a bad day. This computer should really cope with all this with no problem at all. Now come on, unless you're going to get centered in this and do something useful. It's a bloody great cloud, but if you can't find lift under it, then you're better off just getting on your way. Let's just proceed and see whether we run into better lift as we do. Now. And it reckons we're on a final glide okay. Another cloud along the way here as well. That might give us a bit of lift if I'm worried. But it reckons we're going to arrive at 1,300 feet above sight, isn't it? So that should be perfect as long as that holds true. But I think I will ever so slightly go underneath this cloud. So what's up ahead? Is that... Bicester, isn't it? Yeah, it is Bicester. So yeah, we should well and truly be in final glide, shouldn't we? I think we should travel with some positivity now. Then we've lost a bit. If we can get a circle or two, I'd rather. Like I was under the wrong bit, but there's no cloud above me or anything. It's very bizarre. Anyway, take that little bit and crack on, because I think now we really should be safe for a final glide, don't you? Yeah, it's Western right over the nose, isn't it, I think? That is. That angle looks good, and there's clouds between us and it. Should things go pear-shaped? Surely we're going to make it now. So we're 8 kilometers out. So make sure we're heading for it. So I'll give them a call. That's Upper Hayford there, isn't it, to the 1 o'clock position. The main run, because the FR11s were flying, we'd be right in the wrong place. Might go underneath us, I suppose, but not ideal. So let's give Weston a call. So, right, okay. Western base from Bravo Sierra, on final glide, about 8 kilometers coming in from your northeast, should be overhead you, and I can't see the time here, however long it is. Not long. Let's get that nose down a bit. Gosh, this plane wobbles about. Don't seem to have this problem with other planes. It just does not seem. If I let go of the stick, look at it. It wants to bank off to the left. So you constantly. Well, it's not trimmed out properly. I don't know why. Are the trimmers on these? No. Weird. It's a weird plane, not like my real K6, well, not as I remember it anyway. Right, so let's crack on and go for it now. Let's trim it forward and go for it a bit. There's Bicester just going under the port wing. Particularly know why we were taking off to the east. I think I'm going to land to the north and do a hangar flight. So I'll overfly the finishing point, and then I'll just do kind of like a 270 to the right and come in and land by the hangar. Go get a cold beer. Not much I've got some hyped on at the moment. Western base from Bravo Sierra. I'm about 4 kilometers out, approaching from your northeast. I expect to be overhead you in a couple of minutes. I'll be doing a right-hand circuit to land on the northerly runway for a hangar flight, if okay. Please advise traffic. But I should be behind your launch point, although I will cross your main circuit approach, so I will look out for the gliders. So the pre-landing checks I learned were useful, which are undercarriage, speed, trim. Speed you decide for landing, here we'll just go for like 50 knots really. Trim for it, and then hand on air brake, and then look out. But now it's wolf, water, undercarriage, loose articles and flaps. Well, I don't carry water, don't have undercarriage. Loose articles, I'll check all those even now, yeah. And flaps, well I haven't got any of those either, so there we go. So we're rather high here really for our, but we'll manage, we'll be fine. Get the finish done and then we'll go from there. You wouldn't really be allowed to fly this kind of circuit with them sort of launching in this direction, I don't think, not easily, but you've got to finish, so you get your finish done. We're going to land sort of underneath the starboard wing, something like that. Task finishes in a second. Please finish task. I'll be in trouble if it doesn't. Why are you not finishing? You should have finished by now. Oh, thank goodness. Right, okay. Western base, Bravo Sierra, downwind for a right-hand circuit onto a hangar flight to the north. So we better turn around because I'm not familiar with this and I don't know quite what our angle is and things, but we'll be alright, be fine. Oh yeah, we're a bit high, so let's get those brakes down. Speed, okay, we'll shut them a bit now, we want to land further up, don't we? I suppose we ought to land on the runway because that's what people do. I don't know, hey, this is only virtual reality. Let's just land as close to the Perry track as we can, nearer to the bar, isn't it? Oh, a bit hard, sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention there, that was naughty of me really. I stopped flying the airplane while it was still in the air, and I landed well short as well. That was a crap landing on all counts. Never mind, you'll get to see it all, warts and all. I've flown a lot better than that, but there we go. I just wanted to do it tonight, even though I wasn't really fully engaged brain-wise. So yeah, I mean, that was one of the less fun flights I've had. I don't know what was going on there. I mean, you get to a point where the difficulty of flying makes your flying worse, or your bad flying makes the difficulty worse. You're not sure which is chicken and which is egg, but basically a lot of that was really quite hard work. There was some good thermals, but there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't understand, and good lift where there was no clouds, and no lift where there was a good cloud, and whatever. Anyway, we got the task done. It won't be fast at all, but that is the Didcot milk run done in an old K6cr with a bad landing. If I'd done a landing like that in the K6cr in real life, I might have put the wheel through it. Actually, that was very bad. I was just not paying attention. I really don't land like that normally, but there we go. I think sometimes when you're in virtual reality, you just, let yourself go in ways, because, hey, it's the task that you got done. Who cares about the landing at the end? But I can actually recall once flying with somebody else on a 2C cross country where they were coaching me a bit, and actually having flown a good cross country and showing me how to fly one, their landing at the end was a little less than good. And so even in the real world, you can get the odd moment. So it was a long time ago. So there we go. Right, okay, so that's it. I hope you didn't find it too boring. I mean, obviously I can't chat sort of in ways that I'd like to when I'm doing a task like that in real time, because I really had to sort of make sure I stayed up. But we did stay up, just about. Okay, actually, we didn't do so bad. We're back home at Weston, and the glider hangar is that one over there with the domed roof. This is where, in the old days, the parachutists would have been, I think. So we've landed in the wrong place, but hey-ho, not to worry. Okay, see you on the next one, and bye for now.